For most of my life, I've considered myself an introvert. But what if it's more complicated than that? What if it's not about being shy, but something deeper? I avoid social gatherings because it feels easier to stay at home and game with friends on Discord. But is that comfort zone holding me back? I didn't participate in society for the best part of 15 years, telling myself it was because I was an introvert. Parties made me anxious, so I would either get drunk to mask it or stay at home. I played video games. Lots of them. I never liked watching the news or learning about current events because it was always something bad. Why would I want to hear about that? I ignored popular culture. I didn't care what celebrities wore, who they were dating, or even their music. I liked ambient music that let me focus and feel calm. But when people asked me what I listened to, I felt a pang of fear. It wasn't just about music. It was about revealing something deeply personal that I couldn't easily explain. I like melancholic music or ambient soundscapes that make me feel calm and think introspectively. Pop music? I struggle to connect with it. The tones are clear, but the lyrics often just feel like noise, like they are speaking another language. My brother once suggested to me that my difficulty in processing music lyrics might be a form of autism. The more I thought about it, the more that it made sense. I can catch the tones, but I just can't understand the words that they are singing. Instead of engaging with the world, I would escape into video games. Long, in-depth reviews of games like Dark Souls on YouTube were a comfort of mine. Monotone voices analysing every detail and aspect of that game. It was a space where I didn't have to explain myself. But the fear of sharing these interests with others, even now at 32, still makes me feel exposed. When someone asks me, "What do you listen to?" I feel caught off guard. It feels too personal, and I feel too vulnerable to answer the question. For years, I told myself that I was just an introvert who preferred to be left alone. But I don't really. I like personal connection, but some people drain my energy. I remember talking to a neighbour once, and midway through, I felt like I was going to pass out. Looking her in the eyes, I suddenly felt dizzy, like my energy had been drained, and everything went swirly around me. It wasn't a one-off either. It's happened before. Was it just too much, or was there something more to it? Then lockdown happened. I kept hearing people struggle with staying inside, but my life didn't even change. My social life was already pretty much entirely online. My friends were on Discord, we played games together, we worked together, and we talked throughout the day. If anything, lockdown made life a lot easier because now everyone else was living how I had been for years. And that's when I realised that the way that I interact with people is fundamentally different. It's not that I dislike socialising. I just prefer it in a specific way, and for the first time, it felt like I wasn't the odd one out. Everyone else was just experiencing life the way that I already had. Masking comes naturally to me, hiding who you really are. I mirror people without thinking, adjusting my tone, reactions, even mannerisms. I don't mean to, I just do it. But doing this all day exhausts me. At my core, I tend to be quite silly and carefree, but after playing the part of what's expected of me, I just want to shut down for a while. Some people energise me, but with others, I barely remember what we talked about, only that I left feeling completely drained. When I talk to friends online, it's because we're doing something together, playing a game or working on a project. I don't really just hop into Discord just to talk. That kind of socialising has never really come naturally to me. The same goes for meeting people in person. I prefer doing something, like going to the gym or walking. Just sitting there and talking? That sounds exhausting. Maybe it's a man thing or an autistic thing. Who knows? I've always had moments where I felt like I just couldn't be myself. The first time I truly felt that fear was in university. A lecturer went around the classroom asking each one of us what our favourite music was. As soon as I realised that I'd have to answer, panic set in. My heart raced, I started sweating, and when it was my turn, I lied. I blurted out something random, anything but the truth. No one was judging me, but the idea of revealing something personal about myself was terrifying. For years, in the back of my head, I suspected that I might have some level of autism. Therapy confirmed it. After multiple sessions, my therapist carefully told me that she saw signs of autism within me, though they weren't obvious at first. I've always been able to talk to people and hold conversations, so I never really considered it before. But looking back, it made complete sense. I focus more on how I feel rather than what I think. My body's signals are often louder than my thoughts. I struggle to understand most jokes unless they're fully explained to me. I often misinterpret what people are saying if there's some level of subcontext. I've had panic attacks in overstimulating environments like shopping malls, and yet I feel deeply connected to people in ways that go beyond words. So am I an introvert? Am I masking autism? Maybe it doesn't matter. What I've learned is that understanding myself is a journey, and I'm still figuring it out. But maybe the real question is, how much of who we think we are is just a habit, and how much of it is who we've always been? For years, I thought I was just an introvert, but it turns out there could be something deeper going on. And maybe that's true for other parts of my life too, like why I feel behind in life compared to everyone else. If you've ever felt like you're not where you're supposed to be, I talk about that in this video here. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, and maybe it'll help you see things differently too. Thanks for listening.